So do you feel stuck with your work as a product manager? Do you feel that maybe in the company that you work, you are only managing a backlog or just building features? Or maybe you feel like you are not being able or to focus on your career enough and you would like to improve as a product manager. So let's go through some tips that are going to help you improve your game as a product manager. The first one is that you really want to start looking into what you are building in your product. Let's call them features that you have planned in, for example, for your next release. And let's start to look at them from the point of view of what is the problem that we are building. Let's try to explain that within the feature. Let's try to also explain what is the solution that you are building. Also focus on explaining why you are bringing value or what is the benefit that your customers are getting from using this feature. Also look at the user personas that are going to be benefiting from this feature, and as well look at what are the typical use cases where your users are going to be using this feature. Why all this is important? You can create this, by the way, as a template in different tools. So for example, in Notion or Proboard, any of those tools, they have the capability of creating templates that are going to help you answer those questions or remind you of answering those questions. Why is this important? Well, if you look at these aspects, this is going to help you explain what you're building to your potential customers or to your existing customers. You have a feature. You want to explain why you should use it, what problem you are solving, and how is this going to be used? What are the typical use cases? And is this going to affect certain user personas or different user personas? This way, you are not just facilitating the communication towards the customer, you're facilitating the internal work that other teams have to do. You're helping the product marketing team to actually explain what those features are all about. You actually are also helping sales or sales enablement or solution engineers to understand what you are building, what is coming new in that release, or how they can talk about it when they talk and communicate with customers. This is going to help them build the story and understand what they had to communicate with the customers. As well, you can also do it something similar for the release. You can do it per feature, but you can do it also for the whole release and explain that story, how this release is actually benefiting the customers. The next one is that you want to start doing research, even if in the company people don't typically do research about why you should be building certain feature. When you hear about an idea, somebody, even if they come with a solution, which is not ideal, ideally you want to be solving problems as a product manager, you are the one responsible for defining what the solution is. But even if you are given a solution, you want to look into that solution and do a research on what that solution is actually, what problem this solution is solving. Look at that problem. What is the potential of the problem? How many people are going to benefit from solving this problem? Are there other problems that you are trying to solve with other solutions, features that potentially have a higher impact on what you are building in the product? This is very important to focus or to research, because then you are going to make more educated decisions on what you are building in the product, what features you're building in the product. This way you will understand better the context and the background of the problem that exists, why the solution or how the solution is being built. Doing this research actually might help you finding better solutions for that existing problem. And by the way, this way you can justify and start potentially moving the way of working, so people don't give you necessarily the solutions, but they explain you what the problems are, because that's usually the role for product managers. The next one is that you want to have a process to manage all the ideas that you're going to get. You're going to get a ton of ideas as a product manager. Most likely you will get them now maybe as emails, you might get them in calls, meetings, you might get them in an Excel sheet or in PowerPoint presentations, or you might get them from a CRM system such as Salesforce. And you had to manage those ideas. You had to manage all those insights that people are giving you and understand which ones you should be paying attention to and which ones you probably should not be paying that much attention to. Defining that process is going to be very important for you to be able to make sure that all the feedback that you're hearing is not just getting lost and being ignored, and making a better communication also with your stakeholders. People will start noticing that you are paying attention to what when you're talking or they're talking to you. People will pay notice that you are actually looking into those potential opportunities, into those ideas that that they have heard as a customer, that they have suggested as a account manager or whatnot. This will help people understand that, or your stakeholders understanding that you are really paying attention to that problem, and that you are really considering what are the most potential high, let's say, returning or with the highest ROI ideas that are out there, and you are trying to build that funnel that is going to help you make better decisions in the future. And finally, something that you can do, and although it might not be something that initially sounds that obvious, but something that it will help you communicate and it will help your internal stakeholders communicate when you're building new releases, is to have theme releases. So when you are focusing on improving an area of your product, look at what other requests there has been in that same area of the product, or problems that have been identified in that same area of the product, and see how you could improve it. So for example, if you're thinking about YouTube, you could consider how to I'm trying to improve, let's say, or for one reason, something that I'm going to be changing in a release is this YouTube shorts. So I might want to bring a better experience, and I might be very focused on whatever it is that a YouTube product manager will be focusing on improving the experience within shorts. But you might want to look at other things that are you have been getting feedback over time within the shorts, so you actually give even a better experience on what the shorts are. This way, you are definitely benefiting the customer, because when your releases have quite many new features and quite many bugs fixed all over the place in the product, the reality is that not people are not going to notice the improvements. Many people are going to miss them completely. But if your release is focused on just one part of the product, one aspect, then they are going to start noticing that yes, the usability is better, the experience is better. I feel like this really has changed, and hopefully the experience for the users is better. It's going to give or make life easier for your stakeholders. The marketing team will know much better how to communicate, because it is much easier to communicate to that target audience that are using those YouTube shorts in the example that I was mentioning. And the sale is going to go for sales teams and so on. So if you want to improve your career as a product manager, you don't have to get to the level of product managers working at YouTube, Google, Amazon, Apple, whatnot. Doesn't matter the company. You don't have to get to that level. You just want to move to the next level, that you are making the life easier for your customers, for your stakeholders, being able to explain much better your decisions, and even at this point forgetting about anything else. Just improve one thing at a time, and that way you are really going to start to move the needle. Once those changes become a habit, then you can start moving to the next step, and how you can start improving your career and your development as a product manager. If you are interested, I have put together a guide about how to do product management that can help you through your journey to improve your product management game. You can find it in the pinned comment and in the description down below. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one. And remember, stay safe.